There are 70 games left on the schedule for the Minnesota Twins. Tonight it's their final interleague game and the final game of a series from Busch Stadium in St. Louis between the Twins and the Cardinals. And welcome to steamy Busch Stadium. It is muggy here tonight. Dick Bramer along with Bert Blyleven and Twins baseball coming your way on Fox Sports Net. You know, when you think about the Cardinals, you think about the great hitters they've had here in recent years. Certainly Mark McGwire, Jim Edmonds, and J.D. Drew was off to a good start this year before he got hurt. But now the Cardinals are starting to make a move in the National League Central, and it's none of those hitters who are leading the way.
Well, the Cubs leading the Central Division, but St. Louis only 7 games back, and so far the Twins are 0-2 against the Cardinals. It hasn't been McGwire, it hasn't been Edmonds. It's been the top of the lineup that's been able to get on base. Vina and Polanco holding that number 1 and number 2 spot, and then further down the lineup is that rookie Albert Pujols. He's having a very good year, not only offensively. He's made some errors, but made a big catch in last night's ball game to maybe save the game for the Cardinals.
And Pujols is the likely winner of the National League Rookie of the Year award this year. Now, this series that the Cardinals can do just fine without Mark McGwire in the lineup, that'll get tested tonight because he's not in the starting lineup. I'm sure that comes as good news to Kyle Lohse. He'll be the Twins starter, and we'll get an update on Kyle Lohse from his catcher tonight, A.J. Pierzynski, when we come back. A heat index in excess of 100 degrees for the final game of this series between the Twins and the Cardinals. Twins took 2 out of 3 in Milwaukee, trying to get 1 game at least here in St. Louis. Here's the Twins batting order tonight, brought to you by Menards. And it's a different lineup. Quentin McCracken, the leadoff hitter. He'll be followed by Denny Hocking, Doug Minkiewicz, Corey Koski, Chad Allen, A.J. Pierzynski. Luis Rivas had a good night last night in the leadoff spot. Tonight he'll hit 7th. Then Jacque Jones and the pitcher Kyle Lohse. His second year with the St. Louis Cardinals. Here's the Treasure Island scouting report on Darryl Kile.
A workhorse over the last 5 years. Darryl Kile has averaged about 225 innings a season. A very good fastball, an excellent curveball, an occasional changeup, and he'll mix in occasional slider, and he'll mix in a changeup.
Cardinals have a different lineup in the field. Around the horn, brought to you by Northland Ford. Craig Paquette giving Mark McGwire a break tonight at first. Fernando Vina at second. Placido Polanco at third base. And Edgar Renteria at short. Ray Lankford out there in left field again. Jim Edmonds in center. And Albert Pujols getting his 3rd start in this series in right field. Mike Matheny back behind the plate. And Darryl Kile last year, who won 20 games for the Cardinals, is out there tonight looking for win number 10. Kyle with an ERA of 3.40, a little bit lower than his season ERA of a year ago, and I think maybe his record reflects the fact that the Cardinals have struggled to score runs this year for him.
Well, you see the walks to innings pitch, pretty good control, and he'll average about 6 or 7 strikeouts per 9 innings.
Ball 1 to Quentin McCracken, getting the start in center field for the Twins. Torrey Hunter getting a break in tonight's game. And McCracken takes a strike. Torrey a little beaten up below the waist. He's been hit by pitches in each leg in this series. And then too, the Twins coming out of the break are playing just about, well, they are playing every day until July 30th. So Tom Kelly's used last night's game and tonight's game to give some of his regulars a day off.
Again, that's very important, especially a hot night like tonight. Matt Lawton struggling a little bit at the plate, just 1 hit in his last 18 at bats. So let him, sit on the bench and then get ready for when the Oakland A's come in tomorrow night at the Metrodome.
McCracken lifts it to short left. Lankford is out there waiting for the catch. 1 away. It's clouding over, and that, I guess, helps a little bit, but it's still very warm and muggy. 94 degrees in the Ream team temperature check. And unfortunately, where we are, and I think where the players are, they can't feel that southerly breeze at 17 miles per hour. This big bowl of a stadium almost completely enclosed. 1 down, and Denny Hocking at the plate.
Denny 0 for 4 in yesterday's ball game. 0 for his last 13.
And he takes ball one.
And he's averaged down to 241. Last year he hit 298 in 373 at bats.
And a strike, 1-1. Of course, he's getting a chance to play regularly now, and with Christian Guzman on the disabled list with a sore shoulder. Hocking sends one back foul. It's 1-2. In one sense, this stretch right before the break and right after the break, one of the toughest stretches for the Twins. They went into the break playing 20 games in 20 days, come out of the break playing 18 in 18. And Hocking is called out on strikes by Ed Montague. 2 away.
Kyle picking up his first strikeout in his 11th major league season. He has just over 1,500 strikeouts. Fastball, belt high, middle in.
That gets Minkevich to the plate. Pinch hit double in the 9th inning last night, a ground rule double. And Kyle starts him with strike one.
And that's that curveball right there. It's kind of a slow curveball, a strike one type curveball. He also throws a harder curveball when he gets ahead in the count. Again, control of the fastball, a key to Kyle. Fastball up and away.
White Sox beat the Brewers at Miller Park, getting above the 500 mark finally. They've gotten to the 500 mark a number of times. Minkevich, oh boy, he's continues to pile up the hits. Didn't try to do too much with that ball, just served it into center field for a 2-out single.
Watch him stay back so good with his hands. This is a slow breaking ball. That right foot already committed out, but he keeps those hands back, almost like that bat just followed the ball right into center field. Good piece of hitting.
So here's Corey Koski. Corey popped up to short left to end the ball game last night in his pinch hitting appearance. Corey fouls it at the plate, and that jolts Matheny. 1 strike.
Take a listen if you're a catcher at home. Ouch. Ball on metal.
1 strike to Koski.
Every time I see something like that, when the foul ball off a catcher's mask, I always move my neck around a little bit, because can you imagine how strong catchers' necks have to be.
One strike to Koski with 2 gone, and the Twins first. And now inside, 1-1. Not too many guys wearing long sleeves tonight. Including the pitcher Darryl Kyle. Some pitchers, even though it would be hot and humid, would like to wear long sleeves.
Not too many.
I think Frank Viola, Mike Smithson, I know when he was with the Twins, wore long sleeves regardless of what the weather conditions were like.
Well, that's because they had really skinny arms and they weren't very proud of their muscles.
Yeah,
I wore 2 long sleeve shirts.
I was going to say, I think somewhere I got a 1971 baseball card of you in long sleeves.
Well, when I played in Texas, I wore nothing underneath my jersey as far as no shirt or anything.
That paints an image I really didn't want to.
It was so
visualize.
hot in Texas, and it's almost this type of weather here. And what happens as a pitcher in weather like this, if you can get through
There's
the
long
first,
sleeves right there.
Yeah, if you can get through the first 2 or 3 innings, and then you catch your second win.
Koski swings and misses. Minkevich off with the pitch, and he's thrown out at second base. The Twins get a base hit, but Kyle faces just 3 men in the inning. No score going to the bottom of the first inning. The Cardinals going for a sweep against the Minnesota Twins, and they'll go after it with this batting order for Tony La Russa, brought to you by Menards. Fernando Vina, the leadoff hitter. Placido Polanco hitting second. Jim Edmonds, Craig Paquette, Albert Pujols hitting fifth, having a good series. Langford, Edgar Renteria, Mike Matheny, and Darryl Kyle. All getting their first look at Kyle Lohse. Here's his Treasure Island scouting report.
Well, Kyle Lohse is a perfect 3-0 so far. He's making his 6th major league start, his first ever against the St. Louis Cardinals. Kyle Lohse, all 4 pitches, fastball, curveball, slider, and changeup.
Fernando Vina, the leadoff hitter.
Vina having a good series, 5 for 8 so far in the series. A couple doubles. Talked about St. Louis winning the first 2 ball games. The Twins have only been swept 1 time this year, and that's by the Cubs.
And I don't think it's any coincidence that that was an interleague series played by National League rules, where the Twins had trouble scoring runs without the designated hitter. Vina slaps the first pitch to left. He does a great job getting on base, leading off the first inning for the Cardinals. He's done that twice already in this series. Around the horn for the Twins, brought to you by Northland Ford. Doug Minkiewicz is at first. Luis Rivas at second. Corey Koski at third. And Denny Hocking, the shortstop. In left field, it's Jacque Jones. Quentin McCracken in center. And Chad Allen in right. A.J. Pierzynski behind the plate. And Kyle Lohse on the mound, facing Placido Polanco.
So far, the Cardinals have 25 hits in this series, 10 combined between Vina and Polanco. Polanco with 4, Vina with his 6th.
Right back to Lohse, out at second. Hocking will turn the double play with the runner going. Lohse was still able to start a 1-6-3 double play.
Well, the Cardinals coming out swinging a bat. First pitch, little hit and run put on by Tony La Russa. Polanco right back up the middle. Lohse sets, makes a good throw to Denny. And Vina going straight in. He had a chance maybe to turn, put some hurting on Denny Hocking right there, but slides in straight. Denny stepping off the bag toward the infield side, making a good throw, getting the double play.
You got Losche's pitch count so far?
2.
Okay, 3-0 on the season for Kyle Lohse. ERA just a tick over 5. He started this road trip and starting against the Brewers Thursday at Miller Park.
The opponent's hitting only 234 off of Kyle. Lefties hitting 254. Right-handers are hitting only 213.
Here's Jim Edmonds taking ball 1. And now a strike. Lohse got the win in his last start.
Edmonds 0 for 4. He has walked 3 times in the series. Lohse pitched 7 2/3, his longest outing so far at the major league level in his last outing. Gave up 5 runs, a couple home runs. A solo home run to Richie Sexson, and then Greg Jeffries hitting a 2-run home run. But those 7 runs in the first 3 innings helped.
Twins ended up hitting 7 home runs in that game. 3-1 to Edmonds with Paquette on deck. And now 3-2.
Take a look at that last outing for Kyle Lohse in that ball game. He walked 3 with 4 strikeouts. And again, runs help. Sometimes you look at those numbers and you see he gave up 5 runs, but remember he won 13-5. So sometimes it's not how you pitch, it's when you pitch. Adam Johnson last night, 6 very good innings, a quality start. Ended up getting a no decision.
Edmonds draws a walk. And remember this too about Losche's start against the Brewers. Twins gave him the early lead, but he started out by throwing 5 shutout innings against Milwaukee. And the home runs came late after the game had pretty much been decided. Charge lines are open tonight. Nice homestand starting up tomorrow night against the Oakland A's, the hard-charging Oakland A's. 612-33 Twins, 1-800-33 Twins if you'd like to order Twins tickets. Here's Craig Paquette standing in as the replacement at first base and the replacement as a cleanup hitter for Mark McGwire. Swing and a foul, 1 strike.
Paquette in his 3rd season with the St. Louis Cardinals. 7 home runs, 24 RBIs on the year.
McGwire getting a chance to rest at least early in the ball game. Down and away. 1-1. And for McGwire, this is the 89th game for the Cardinals. And McGuire's played in less than half of them. He spent some time on the disabled list, of course, with ongoing knee problems. 1-1 to Paquette. Driven to left. Jones racing toward the corner. He's there for the catch. And Kyle Oates gives up a hit and a walk, but no damage done to the second. No score at Busch Stadium.
League East. Mark Mulder was looking for his 11th win. He had his scoreless inning streak snapped earlier today at 22 in a game against the Colorado Rockies. That game was played earlier this afternoon as Mulder tried to keep things rolling for the A's. They won at 3-2. And A.J. Burnett will try to follow last night's shutout for the Marlins. They've allowed only 1 run in the first 2 games of that series against Baltimore, and the Marlins are only 4 back in the wild card race. Back up to Dick and Bert.
Thank you, Anthony. Corey Koski on the first pitch of the 2nd inning, lining a base hit to right field. The Twins get a leadoff man on for Chad Allen. Had quite a game last night. 2 home runs. Numbers 3 and 4, as you can see, coming in last night's ball game. But he wasn't that far away from a 5-hit game. He hit just about everything hard last night. Hit the 2 home runs, and then in the 9th inning came up with 2 men in scoring position, 1 out, and he hit the hard 1 hopper back to Mike Timlin. Whether that ball got by the pitcher and gone up the middle, a couple runs would have scored. Twins might have won the ball game last night. Robbed of a hit in the middle of the game by a nice play by Vigna, the second baseman. Fouled away. 2 strikes to Allen.
Let's take a look at the home runs. The first one coming for Chad Allen. That coming into 3rd inning, they gave the Twins a 1-0 lead. Chad going the other way. And this one straight away center. Chad hitting a solo home run in the 8th inning, and that tied the game at 3.
2 strikes to Allen. Called 3rd strike. Allen's gone, and Matheny with a bluff throw to first. 2nd strikeout for Darryl Kyle. Both of them uncalled 3rd strikes.
Again, Kyle, you start looking for that curveball. This fastball inside, very important pitch for Kyle. He'll get some strikeouts right there. Matheny almost throwing behind Koski at first. Kyle picking up his 2nd strikeout.
Here's A.J. Pierzynski, kind of settled into the number 6 spot in the batting order. Has kept the batting average over the 300 mark. Fastball up and away, ball 1. Pierzynski 0 for 1 in each of the ball, or 0 for 1 on Sunday, and then 0 for 4 last night. One and 1.
Kyle, 32 years old, in his 11th major league season, a career that started with the Houston Astros back in 1991. He's also pitched for the Colorado Rockies in his 2nd season with the Cardinals.
Signed a big contract with the Rockies and pitched 2 years there and had enough of that. Here's Pierzynski slapping one foul. It's been said ever since they got baseball there in the Denver area that Coors Field, of course, a a hitter's park. It's tough for pitchers, it has been believed, to pitch well there consistently, particularly pitchers who rely on a breaking ball. And of course, that's one of Kyle's big pitches, that the thin air, a mile high in the air, is a little bit tougher on a breaking ball pitcher than a fastball pitcher.
Well, no better way than look at the numbers. 1997 with Houston, he was 19-7 with a 2.57 ERA. Worked 255 innings.
Roller to second. Vigna goes to second, out there, and the relay in time for the double play. 4-6-3. The Twins get a hit, but again send just 3 men to the plate against Darryl Kyle. No score heading to the bottom of the second inning. Before we get there, the Twins return home for a game tomorrow night, just in time for Hormel Dollar a Dog Night, or as they say in Austin, Hormel Dollar a Dog Night. The first 20,000 hot dogs will be sold for $1 apiece. Limit 2 per customer. The Hormel Dollar a Dog Night is presented by Country Hearth and the Star Tribune. Should be a big series too. The Oakland A's playing very good baseball, making a run into the wild card race last night. Albert Pujols did some running in right.
Well, this in the first inning, dropping a ball off the bat of Chad Allen, and then making a great catch in the fourth inning with bases loaded, 2 outs off the bat of Rivas.
Don't think that would have gone over the fence. It almost certainly would not have, but it might have cleared the bases and opened up the game for the Twins. Pujols, 22 home runs on the season, hit 8 of them in the first 3 weeks of the season. And Loesch has got a pretty good breaking ball too. He spun that over for strike 1. Two and 1.
Pujols 4 for 8 so far in this series. He got a big hit against Hector Carrasco in last night's ball game. Knocked in the winning run for the Cardinals. Only 21 years old, from the Dominican Republic.
3 and 1. Loesch walked Edmonds with 2 out in the first inning, and now he falls behind Pujols. And there's a walk to start the second inning. That'll bring Ray Lankford to the plate. Coming up next inning, we'll have a chance to join forces with the St. Louis broadcast crew doing the game on Fox Sports Net. Joe and Al Hrabosky.
Ray Lankford at the plate. Are you looking forward to our time coming up? Minnesota Twins announcement. I want to know what it's like to talk to guys who get to watch a first place club day after day after day.
Oh, listen,
we used to know. We used to know.
Wow. It's going to be a fun inning.
Yeah, they're hard already, aren't they?
And there's a strike to Ray Lankford.
How many flags are flying out there? World Championship flags?
9 of them. Starting in 1926. Last one in 1982, when they had a great World Series, particularly in the middle part of the country. St. Louis against Kansas City. Or actually, it was the 82 series against the Milwaukee Brewers that they won in 7 games. It was 85 when they played and lost to the Royals.
I'm just happy they don't have a 1987 one up there.
1-1 to Ray Lankford. Struck out 3 times last night, and now Loesch gets ahead on the count 1-2.
He has struck out 5 times so far in the series, 2 hits and 8 at bats. Lankford has struck out 97 times already this year, but he'll average 120 to 150 strikeouts throughout the season. Part of his game.
Pierzynski blocks it. It's 2-2.
It's not part of his game plan. It's just part of his game.
Loesch has been pointed out many times, lost 18 games last year at Double-A. His last 14 decisions were losses. Lankford with a looper to right. That'll drop in front of Allen. Pujols rounds second. Allen's throw cut off by Hocking. Throw to first. Lankford is out. Great cutoff by Hocking. He had to leap high to get the throw. And then the quick throw across the diamond to Minkiewicz.
Well, what makes this play right here is Chad Allen charges the ball and hits the cutoff man. So many times you see an outfielder overthrow a cutoff man. Ray Langford rounded first, and it's a pretty wide turn. And he thought about going to second, and then he saw that. Let's take a look at the play right here. It's a sinking line drive in front of Chad Allen. And instead of throwing the ball all the way to third, it's at Denny Hawking, the cutoff man. Denny cuts it off, and Langford getting too far off. Very close play, but the ball goes in the Twins' favor.
So, one down. Pujols at third. Renteria at the plate, and the Twin infield is in. And last night, a rare home run from Edgar Renteria.
This is his 6th home run for Renteria in last night's ball game. A solo home run. That coming in a second at bat in the 4th inning off of Adam Johnson.
Koski gets the first hop, looks Pujols back to the bag, over to Minkiewicz. One pitch does in Renteria for out number 2. That'll bring up catcher Mike Matheny.
Nice pitch right there by Losha. A little sinking fastball down and in. Renteria beating it into the ground. Pujols has to stay at third. 2 outs.
Matheny known more for his defense. We've already seen evidence of that. A strong throw to second to throw out Minkiewicz in the 1st inning.
He's thrown out almost 60% as far as base stealers this year. Outstanding percentage. Matheny coming into his 8th major league season, a career 237 hitter.
Ball 1 from Kyle Osh.
Kyle just 22 years old. What a great opportunity, not only to get to the big leagues, and you look in the standings and you're 5 games in first place. So Kyle Osh, if he continues to stay aggressive and pitch consistent, he'll be in that one of those spots as a starter in September.
Fisted foul, 2-1.
And that's when you want to start, when the Twins still have the lead in the American League Central Division and you're one of the starters going into September. That's when all the fun begins.
The pressure mounts, but the fun really begins.
The pressure is the pressure that you put on yourself.
Two and 1 to Matheny, with the pitcher Kyle due up next. That's a fair ball. It'll put the Cardinals in front. A ground ball between Minkiewicz and the line. Pujols scores, and it's 1-0 St. Louis.
Well, good out, 2-out hitting by Matheny. I don't know if this is hitting, just slapping the ball the other way. Ball on the outer half of the plate. Matheny just going down that first base line. Good piece of hitting right there. He picks up his 21st RBI, and the Cardinals take an early 1-0 lead.
And now Kyle coming to the plate. 7 hits, 42 at bats, 22 strikeouts in 42 at bats. Just off the outside corner, ball 1. Cleveland with a couple of 1st inning runs at Enron Field against the Astros. 2-0. Kyle, as you saw, has a home run.
He has 2 career home runs. One coming in 1993 and the other one coming this year.
2-1. Last night the Twins scored first, but the Cardinals came back to win the ball game and lead most of the way. Here's a high chopper. Koski hauls the pitcher off, goes to Minkiewicz, inning over. But the Cardinals put together a walk and a couple of hits to score the first run of the game in the second. Dick Kramer and Burt Blyleven here in the Minnesota booth, joined by Joe Buck and Al Roboski in the St. Louis booth. And we heard a little abuse already. Was it ridicule about the Twins being in first place?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
I think it's a hint, maybe a touch of jealousy.
Okay.
We remember the days earlier in the year,
Sure.
last year. We get a chance to talk to guys who get to watch a first place club, and good for you. You guys have watched plenty of losing baseball lately, and I think it's obviously stating something that you guys have talked about. You all have a fun team to watch, a lot of interchangeable parts, and the right guy pulling the strings and pushing the buttons.
We just can't win here in St. Louis. We're 2-9.
That's amazing.
Yeah, what's going on?
Well, the Cardinals haven't done well up there.
Of course, remember in '87, we wish we would have had one extra home game.
I just wish we had some evidence here of what happened in the World Series in '87. Do we have any evidence here of?
You mean this thing?
Oh, there, yeah.
Wow, yeah. That's
World Series ring from 1987.
Hey,
Well,
guys,
I thought you were going to say the evidence like when you turn the fans on at that Metrodome. We don't have any fans here.
That was
obviously.
only when I pitched.
Yeah.
hey, Bert, you guys aren't talking to the Cubs. We've seen World Series rings.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, for the Twins, it'll be Luis Rivas leading off the third against Darryl Kyle. It'll be Rivas, Jones, and Loesch.
Well, Joe and Al, you guys have to be happy at the way the Cardinals are coming out of the All-Star break. They're playing pretty good baseball. They've won the last 3 in a row. They're only 7 behind the Cubs.
Yeah, I think for the most part, everybody's been waiting for this thing to finally click back into gear. The Cardinals had a 10-game winning streak earlier in the season. They were in first place. They were rolling. They went from Pittsburgh to Philadelphia, and the other side of the state of Pennsylvania was unkind. And I'm telling you, this team has not hit since they were in Philadelphia, and that was
May 17th was
May 17th, guys. This team has not hit like it did for the first month and a half of the season, and it has shocked everybody.
Now, how much of that is because of the absence of J.D. Drew?
That's hurt, but you know what? Every team's got injuries, and you can talk about Boston, you can talk about the Dodgers, you can talk about the Cubs losing Bill Miller. Now they have Rondell White on the disabled list. Every team has to deal with something, and I don't put much weight into the injury aspect of it. They're just not hitting.
Luis Rivas, 2-2 pitch shot into right field for the third Twins hit of the night. Second inning in a row where they've gotten the leadoff hitter on, and that'll bring up Jacques Jones.
Well, guys, really, you look at the Twins season, we really started hitting, I'd have to say, at a good average probably about a month ago. The first 6 weeks, other than Minkiewicz, we were struggling offensively. We weren't hitting a lot of home runs, but our pitching was just that good. We saw Bud Smith pitch in last night's ballgame. I like that left-hander right there. Hermanson pitched an outstanding ballgame against us on Sunday. And then you've got Darryl Kyle, 20-game winner last year. Then Matt Morris. I mean, my goodness, there's 4 very good starters, what I see for you.
but we have not had the consistency.
Rivas takes off on the pitch, and he is safe at second on a close play. Earlier in the ballgame, Minkiewicz was thrown out by Matheny. Here, Rivas steals second on the first pitch to Jacques Jones.
Rivas stealing his 15th base of the year. Got a very good jump right there. And Matheny, an outstanding arm. Remember, he throws out about 60% of potential base stealers. But Rivas, he got the jump off the pitcher, not the catcher.
Well, Rivas at second. Jones at the plate. Twins trying to come back from an early 1-0 deficit. Jones has been swinging the bat very well going into the break and coming out of it. He takes a pitch up, and it's 1-1.
Hey, Mr. Hungarian, can I ask you who's going to be the closer as the season gets wound down here for the bullpen?
Percival. How about that one? Now, I tell you what, I think Dave Beers right now has hit a hiccup, and we're going to see more Timlin and Klein.
Pulls the ball to first. Kept with the play, and Rivas advances to third. A productive out for Jones, but now the rookie pitcher Kyle Loesch will hit.
A very good at bat right there for Jacques Jones, even though tomorrow it's going to say 0 for 1 in his first at bat. He got the job done. Now it's up to Kyle Loesch, a 500 hitter at the major league level. Watch this guy swing the bat.
Well, last night we saw your young pitcher Adam Johnson with 2 different opportunities with the bases loaded, 1 out. One time he bounced into a double play, then a unique play, we'll call it, with a safety squeeze with the bases loaded. A lot of managers don't like the suicide squeeze with the bases loaded, let alone the safety squeeze. And now it's Loesch up there. We'll see if the Twins want to get cute here, if they're just going to have this guy who's 2 for 4 swing the bat.
Cardinal infield is in. First pitch over for a strike. now a breaking ball outside, 1-1.
Yeah, I think it's a rarity when you see a squeeze play, be it a suicide or safety squeeze, not work one night and then go right back to it the next night. A lot of managers don't like the play to begin with. We'll see if Kyle falls behind, if that becomes the play for the Twins.
2 straight curveballs. There's a fastball outer half of the plate.
Different situation tonight in the situation Joe was talking about last night. The bases were loaded. There was a force play at the plate. Here, Rivas is the only base runner. And now 1-2 to Kyle Lohse.
Al, what do you throw him right here?
I only had a fastball, so it was real tough for me. I mean, I didn't have that yellow hammer like you had, but you know, I think one of the things with pitchers today, they have lost the ability to spot their fastball in all 4 quadrants.
He's going to throw a curve, Bert.
Yes, he is.
Lohse strikes out for out number 2.
That's the answer I was waiting for, but I agree with you, Al. I think the lost art. So many guys in today's game fall in love with a split finger. They fall in love with a breaking ball. They forget about the location of the fastball, how important that is.
Fastball is still the best pitch in baseball. Everything is set up off that fastball. And Bert, here's another thing. How many guys in our era had a good curveball and a good slider? You usually
Not
had
too many.
That's right. But everybody you talk to today, oh, I'm a 4-pitch pitcher. You got a couple mediocre ones instead of having a real good dominant breaking pitch.
Wouldn't it be nice to master the curveball and then maybe mix in a cutter? I know I did at later in my career because I had trouble pitching in on lefties. My ball had a tendency to run over the plate, and they hit it a long way if it's over the plate, I found out.
Here's McCracken, and a drive to right, hit right at Pujols for the 3rd out. The Cardinals got a 2-out hit to score a run in the 2nd. The Twins came close. Pujols with the catch. It's 1-0 St. Louis.
It's only on Fox. Our dating game continues as over on the other side of the wall, Dick Bramer and Bert Blyleven, Joe Buck and Al Roboski with you.
My bachelor number 2, bachelor number 3. Is that how this works?
Bachelor number 3. Let's say you and I were on a date and I was tired. All right, let's move on. Fernando Vina leads it off. The problem is we can't see you guys over there.
That's good.
I guess that is good. If we were to see your booth in Minnesota, Bert Blyleven, what picture of what former player would we see hanging in your booth?
Well, I have a Hall of Shame, and my one of my good friends in baseball, Al Hrabowski, he is on my wall of shame.
Really?
Well,
And they say, now, why is he the only color analyst that is on my Hall of Shame? It's because he's the only analyst I know that brings a picture along with them on the road.
As opposed to the play-by-play guys like Milo Hamilton. He has one if you want one. Vina flies one into center, and that's an easy out for Quentin McCracken. Hey, could your outfielders play deeper? I've never seen an outfield, especially on a grass field, play deeper than your group throughout this entire series, and it's come into play a number of times, including on Sunday with a hit by Hermanson that fell in front of Hunter. There have been balls that have gotten behind Hunter. McGuire last night. I think, in my humble little opinion, that your guys play too deep. It doesn't seem to matter if it's a right-hander or a left-hander. They all play deep. Does that ring true?
Yeah, Joe, you have to understand, though, this is outdoor baseball. Our guys aren't used to, getting a good view of the game, and I think they back up a couple of steps just because they enjoy the view. At our place, they can't see home plate. You can't see anything at our place.
I was going to say, if they don't know this is outdoor baseball with the kind of weather we've got here compared to what you all have at home inside the dome, then there's really something wrong. One ball, one strike.
I think one thing our outfielders have learned through our outfield coach, that being Jerry White, they play to where they feel comfortable. Quentin McCracken playing pretty deep right now in center field, but he probably feels better on coming in on a ball than going back to a ball. So I think it's to an outfielder's liking of where he feels the most comfort zone.
How about you as a pitcher?
Well, my outfielders always played deep. I remember one time Bernansky came up and he said, how do you want me to play this guy? And I said, play deep and cut across. He says, yeah, but I can't sit up in the bleachers.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Polanco with 1 out and nobody on. We're all feeling Minnesota right now with the Minnesota Twins television announcers to our right joining us on the air as Polanco stays alive and the count stays 2-2. And Tom, me, and Tom McLaughlin in our truck. 2 Minnesotans And Tom Mee wants to say hi to his sons Tom and Mike watching back home. And Tom McLaughlin wants to say hi to his brother Bob.
Joe,
else?
we did that the other night, and they each gave us $20 to say the greeting. How much are you getting?
Absolutely nothing. I get their stellar effort night after night. Ground ball to third. Polanco grounds out to Koski. And there's quickly 2 up, 2 down with Edmonds coming to the plate. What's the situation with the new stadium or any stadium being erected in the Twin Cities for your ball club?
They made another attempt this spring, and an attempt that I think by all accounts was gaining momentum. They could not get anything through in the past legislative session. They're hopeful that as this team continues to perform, there'll be more interest in Major League Baseball, and that perhaps in the next legislative session they'll be able to get something that will be palatable to everybody in the upper Midwest.
I think the interleague play has also helped because we had a lot of fans come over to Milwaukee. As a lot of Twin fans come down here to St. Louis to watch outdoor baseball. So the response that we got in Milwaukee with New Miller Park was tremendous as far as Twins fans coming over and letting us know, hey, we love this ballpark. We'd like to have one of these in Minnesota.
1 ball, 1 strike on Edmonds, hitting .283, 0 for 4 in this series, but his legs a big part of the win last night for St. Louis with a good base running play in the 8th. Edmonds 1 ball, 2 strikes.
How important is it for Jim Edmonds to get on a roll?
Well, you talked about Drew going down. The second he went down, all eyes and the entire focus of this offense went right to Edmonds, who after a great month of April really has not been consistent at all and hasn't shown that he's the same type hitter that he was a year ago. He's really feeling for him as the count goes to 2-2.
Well, he's been known to have a lot of little injuries. You always see him shaking his wrist right there, as I know his legs are giving him problems. I played with him in Anaheim when we were teammates together. But when he's healthy and he wants to play, he's a good one.
He grounds a base hit up the middle. That keeps this 3rd inning alive as Edmonds is aboard with 2 out. On base for the 2nd time tonight.
Bert, you bring up an interesting point, but Jim Edmonds had a career year last year. Sometimes, and he is a franchise player, even his biggest critics will never deny that he is one of the best players in the game today. But you know what? If a guy hits 42 home runs and drives over 100 runs and 300 plus, if he bangs into a wall and wins a Gold Glove and you have to go out and help pick him up, or if he's got a little wince here and there, or he runs into a guy at the plate, for the production that he provides, I can pat him on the back.
And he's only as good as the players around him, too.
Good base running here as he was on his toes and goes down to second as that ball got into the dirt. Brzezinski tried to keep it near him, but it squirted away, and Edmonds down to second on a wild pitch. And now Paquette could double the lead with a hit. And A.J. Brzezinski can't wait for this series to end. He's had a rough couple of games last night at the plate. Tonight he's 0 for 1, and you could see that reaction.
Hey, leave our players alone.
Oh, put up with it. This was your idea, Bert. See, A.J. ready to fire down to second base. Nobody was there. Edmund back to the bag. 2 balls, no strikes.
Hey, he had a game in Milwaukee where he threw out a potential stealer at third, second, and then he threw out a runner, got too far off the bag at first. So.
Yeah, what have you done for me lately?
That's true. Isn't that true?
Losi spins, or Loesch, and Edmonds not wandering too far. Loesch, and we're getting this right? It's Loesch.
Loesch, that's correct.
I practiced all night, and I'm getting it. 2 balls, no strikes on Paquette, who's filling in for McGuire.
How long did you have to practice Minkevich?
I think everybody in the world is aware of his name now. A base hit into center. Edmonds comes around third to plate. He'll score easily. Down to second is Paquette. It's 2-0 Cardinals.
It's again playing very deep. It just guarantees the run, and then the high throw to the plate continues the merry-go-round. Breaking ball goes out and lifts it out into center field. And here you see Edmonds with that good jump. He's going to come around and score easily. Kraken, who was in spring training with the Redbirds, he makes the throw, and it's a high throw. Nobody can cut it off like they did in the first and got Langford. This time Paquette goes to second.
Guys, I think it's safe to say that in Tom Kelly's tenure, and Bert, you know this as a player too, the Twins outfielders typically have played deeper than, say, the norm. Kirby Puckett won 6 Gold Gloves in center field, and he played a very deep center field.
And I think, to be fair, we get spoiled, or at least we certainly get a different view of it night after night, because Edmonds is one of the few center fielders that feels comfortable going back on fly balls, and he plays an awful shallow center field. 1 ball, no strikes on Pujols, and now 2-0. Albert walked and eventually scored on a 2-out RBI hit by Matheny back in the second.
Well, it's like a little fundamental baseball too, with that base hit by Paquette that scored Edmonds from second base. Again, the outfield right there, where Chad Allen hit the cutoff man in the previous inning. Right there, McCracken did not hit the cutoff man. That gets Paquette over to second base in the scoring position. So those little things too can create big innings.
3 balls, no strikes with a runner at second, 2 out. See if Loesch wants to challenge Albert Pujols, or if he would rather deal with Langford. Pujols, a Cardinal All-Star, 69 RBIs on the year. Right down the middle, 3-1.
Joe, not to get carried away with the outfielders being so deep, because I talked to Tom Kelly, and he said basically what Bert's talking about. He said, I just want our defensive guys to be put in the most comfortable position and, for the most part, catch the ball.
That's low, a 2-out walk for Loesch's 3rd walk of the night, and it's 2 on with 2 out, and Ray Langford will step to the plate with a hit tucked under his belt and an average of 247. Runners on at first and second, 2 out, and a visit from the pitching coach out to Loesch. You all, Bert Blyleven, Dick Such, have one of the game's best pitching coaches, don't you?
Yeah, really do. We really do, because he's very consistent. He will basically come out here and try to tell Kyle Loesch to start hitting control of his fastball. Try to hit that spot on the lower half of the plate, away from a right-hander, away to a left-hander. So he's a firm believer in pitching ahead in the count, but you know, he can talk all he wants. The pitcher has to go out and do it.
Something that's been ignored by a lot of people, even in the upper Midwest, the fact that Dick Such has been the Twins pitching coach since 1985, and in this day and age where coaching staffs turn over so quickly, that might be close to a record of some sort.
So he predates Kelly, right?
Yeah, he succeeded Johnny Padres in 1985 when Ray Miller was named the manager. Yeah,
we were talking about that today, and you know, at one time he lost 17 games in the minor leagues. Loesch last year lost 18 games, but sometimes you learn from that.
Langford now takes a ball up and away. Bert Blyleven and Dick Bramer, did you all question over there in your booth pitching to Matheny, even after falling behind as Loesch did back in the second, and eventually Matheny got the base hit on the right field line?
With Kyle hitting next?
Yeah.
Well, it's in contrast to what happened last night when Jason Maxwell was intentionally walked twice to fill the bases, hitting 8th in front of Adam Johnson, and Tom Kelly hates the intentional walk. You look at it, and it's he'd rather pull his fingernails out than intentionally walk somebody.
Here's a 1-1 to Langford, and a ground foul for strike 2. I would say it is fair to say this, that a lot of people across baseball are rooting for the Minnesota Twins, a team that has that little engine that could mentality. Not a lot of big names, heck, not a lot of big numbers offensively on this team. It's evenly spread out, a fun group to watch, and I know when you guys leave St. Louis, a lot of the fans around here will watch with interest as you guys try to beat those high-priced Cleveland Indians in the American League Central. 2 on 2 out here, 1 ball 2 strikes. Do you find that? Do you find a lot of people with interest with what you all are doing so far this season?
Well, when we go around the American League and now National League cities, we're kind of like the bearded lady at the carnival. Everybody is curious to wonder what this team is all about, and they just play hard and maybe above their heads at this point. But the longer the season goes, the more and more I think people are becoming believers that with the pitching that they have, and the Cardinals in this series frankly aren't seeing the best 3 starting pitchers that the Twins have, all-star Joe Mays, Brad Radke, and Eric Milton, that with the starting pitching they have, they stack up pretty well against a Cleveland team that appears to have all sorts of trouble right now.
And you also miss Christian Guzman, who's one of the best young shortstops in the game.
Ortiz injury really hurt you.
David Ortiz still rehabbing, right? Making his way back up to the big league level eventually.
Yes, he's still rehabbing. They hope to have him back by the 1st of August.
You know, guys, we saw the Cleveland Indians right before the All-Star break. They have severe pitching problems. And Rocker now has been removed as their closer. The Atlanta Braves did not get rid of John Rocker because of his off-the-field comments. They got rid of him because they saw a breakdown in his pitching.
You know, people in the Twins organization were shocked that the Braves were able to get what they got for John Rocker.
Langford stays alive as that foul catches him on the foot. I'm in the other camp. I think when Rocker gets it squared away, and I think time is on his side. He's a young left-hander who can blow hitters away. He has a career ERA in the postseason of 0. The one thing that's really held the Braves back over these years of greatness has been the closer role, and we'll see how Carsey does, or if they end up with somebody else to try to close games. But that's always been the Achilles heel, whether it's been Alejandro Pena or Mark Wohlers with the struggles in '96 and the Leyritz home run, Reardon. A lot of the names that have come and gone, that's always been a problem for them. As Langford strikes out, guys, we'll cut it there. And thank you for your time. And seriously, we wish you the best of luck. And we'll be watching in October if you guys are playing postseason baseball.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks a lot, guys.
That's Dick Bramer and Bert Blyleven. Joe Buck and Al Raboski. We'll come back for the 4th. Cardinals lead 2-0.
Back at Busch Stadium, all by our lonesomes. Dick Bramer and Bert Blyleven here, and our Aflac trivia question tonight. Name the only Cardinal to win the Triple Crown twice. I think I know that one. We'll have the answer for you in the next half inning. Denny Hocking to start the 4th for the Twins. Are down a pair of runs to Darryl Kyle.
Kyle so far 37 pitches, 26 for strikes.
3rd inning in a row where the Twins have gotten a leadoff single. Hocking is aboard to start the 4th. We're back home tomorrow, and we're back on the air as well. Back on Fox Sports Net. The opening game of the series between the Oakland A's and the Minnesota Twins. We'll have a pregame for you at 6:30. Game start a little after 7 o'clock. As Brad Radke will go for the Minnesota Twins tomorrow. Oakland A's playing very good baseball. And we'll hope that you can join us tomorrow night for the opening game of a 2-game series. And then 4 with Seattle. It'll be Brad Radke going against Tim Hudson. Eric Milton going against Barry Zito. So a pair of right-handers tomorrow, and then the next night a pair of left-handers. Here's Doug Minkiewicz.
Should be a great game tomorrow. Radke against Hudson, and then Zito's been pitching pretty good ball against Eric Milton.
Oakland wrapping up a series with Colorado today, beating the Rockies 3-2. Charge lines are open if you'd like to be there tomorrow or any day during the second half of the season. 612-33-TWINS, 1-800-33-TWINS. To Minkiewicz. Driven into the right field corner. How far can Hocking go? The ball gets by Pujols. Hocking from second to third. They're going to wave him around. Here's the throw to Vigna. Vigna won't even throw to the plate. The Twins are on the board. Minkiewicz with his second hit, and it's 2-1.
Pujols in right field, normally a third baseman. He kind of lets his ball play him. It gets by him, and once it gets by him, Ron Gardenhire, the third base coach, sees that Pujols is going to throw the ball towards second base. Finally, when he runs this ball down, he gets the ball back to the infield. But Denny right there picks up Ron Gardenhire, and Gardy says, keep going, because that ball's going towards second base. And Denny scores from first base standing up. And Minkiewicz, 24th double, is 56th RBI.
Here's Corey Koski. He singled on the first pitch he saw in the second inning. He was at the plate in the first inning when Minkiewicz was thrown out trying to steal. Koski bounces it to first. High hop fielded by Paquette. Moving up to third is Minkiewicz, the tying run 90 feet away. Come out to the Dome tomorrow night. The Twins are hosting Oakland, and you'll get the chance to meet NASCAR driver John Andretti and see his number 43 Dodge. Also, the first 10,000 fans will receive a free racing kit courtesy of Cheerios and Betty Crocker. Call the charge line for tickets tonight. I wonder what's in a racing kit. You know, like you get a carburetor or something you can put on your car, and
little
extra
wrenches.
set of tires.
Yeah, probably some tires. Little wrenches you can play with.
Chad Allen with a foul at the plate. The Cardinals, in essence, conceding the tying run here if Allen can just hit the ball to Renteria or Vina, anywhere up the middle. They've got the infield playing back. Minkevich, not the fleetest of foot, is at third. Polanco and Paquette about even with their bases at third and first.
Remember in last night's ball game, Chad Allen came up with 1 out, men on second and third, and he hit the ball back to Timlin.
Outside, and it's 1-1.
Remember that at bat, Timlin threw him all two-seam fastballs hard in. Kyle started him off with a fastball inside part of the plate and then missed with a fastball away.
One and one to Allen, up and in.
And there's another fastball in.
Allen had a night he said he'll remember forever. 2 home runs in a game. Trying to get a big hit here to tie the game. Cardinals getting their 2 runs on 2 out hits. Now breaking ball buckles Allen's knees, and it's 2-2.
And you go with that fastball in, you move Allen back, and then you come back with a curveball that looks like it starts right at you. Watch Chad Allen react right here. Whoops, that's all you want the hitter to do, is do that. Ball breaks over the heart of the plate. That's why for a curveball pitcher it's so important to pitch with that fastball inside.
Sidearm, and he got him swinging. So Kyle, a little crafty here to get strike 3 and out number 2.
Well, he picks up his 4th strikeout of the ball game. Allen twice. Look at him drop down right here. And Chad doesn't know what that is. Different arm angle. Uh-oh. And he missed that ball by a foot. Good pitch by Darryl Kyle.
So it's up to Pierzynski here, who will try to get that key 2-out hit. Twins had a number of opportunities in last night's ball game similar to this one. Hit the ball hard in many of those opportunities. Just couldn't get anything to land safely. Pierzynski gets out of the way, and Matheny does a nice job blocking that ball in the dirt. 1-0.
Well, we saw it on Sunday when Matheny caught Hermanson. A lot of balls in the dirt. Does a good job of catching that ball right there.
One and 0 to A.J. Pierzynski. A.J., as we showed you before, hitless in the series. Bounced into a double play his last time up. Grounded right at the first baseman, Paquette. The inning starts with a couple of hits. The Twins get 1 run, but leave the tying run at third, and it's 2-1 St. Louis. Our Aflac trivia question tonight. The only Cardinal to win the Triple Crown twice, I would have guessed Stan Musial.
Stan the man.
And I would have been wrong. The Raja. Roger Hornsby, 1922, 1925. Read a biography about him during the offseason. Rogers was his mother's maiden name. That's how he came up with his, or that's how he was given his first name. All the retired numbers out there in the upper deck in right center field here at Busch Stadium. Edgar Renteria will lead off the bottom of the 4th. It'll be Renteria, Matheny, and Kyle. Strike 1. We have threatening skies here, and as humid as it's been all day, if it does start raining, it may not stop till August. Popped up, and Rivas staring up into the suddenly very gray skies. He makes the catch, 1 away. On the field, they are invincible, but off the field, they are very, very human. Fox Sports takes a look at the athletes you thought you knew. This week, Roy Jones Jr. was raised by his father to become the greatest fighter of his era, but his greatness came with a price. Find out about the Roy Jones Jr. you never knew is Beyond the Glory. Comes up Sunday night, 8 o'clock on Fox Sports Net. Mike Matheny, the hitter, drove in a run with a base hit down the right field line back in the second inning. And a strike on the outside corner. Had such wonderful weather for most of this road trip. The last couple of days have been increasingly hot and humid here in St. Louis.
You know, when you get around this weather right here, and I think as I get older, I appreciate what Ivan Rodriguez is doing with the Texas Rangers in this type of heat. When I played in Texas, Jim Sundberg almost never missed a ball game. And you look at Mike Matheny right here. He got the night off last night, but got to be a tough behind the plate for A.J. Pierzynski and also Mike Matheny to put that gear on and try to block balls in the dirt. Both of them doing a very good job.
It's easy to hold your interest during the game, but the game is the end of the workday for the players. I mean, they're here early in the afternoon many times. Check swing, I think strike three. No! A.J. Pierzynski was ready to throw it around the horn, but Chris Guccione said he did not go around.
Well, that's a breaking ball down and away. Does Matheny go too far? Let's take a look.
He may have held up. At any rate, it's 2-2 now to Matheny. And now 3-2 with Darryl Kyle, the pitcher, hitting next. Into center field. Matheny has his second hit. That'll bring up Darryl Kyle. We've had a major wind change here since the game began. The wind was blowing kind of in from right. Now it's blowing from the left field foul pole to the right field foul pole.
Look for Kyle to bunt right here. Try to get Matheny over to second base.
Kyle bounced Tokoski's first time up.
Kyle has 2 sacrifice bunts this season as he squares around.
Cardinals in front 2-1. Kyle squares to bunt. Pierzynski looks Matheny back to the bag.
At first pitch to a pitcher when he squares around the bunt, you have to throw a strike right there because now something could be put on. Corey Koski was only maybe about 30 feet from Kyle. Now Kyle probably going to square around, but look for him maybe try to swing the bat.
2-0. And Pierzynski is going to come out and talk to Kyle Loesch. We have some angry looking clouds over the St. Louis Arch. It's been very dry here in Missouri over the last 4-6 weeks. You can relate to that back home. I know it looks like the drought's going to end shortly. And a strike, 2-1. I'm just curious when I get back home what shade of earth tone my yard is, whether it's going to be a light brown or the dark brown. Two and one to Kyle. A bunt. Kyle out number 2, and Matheny moves up a base. And that'll get us to the top of the order, and Fernando Vina.
And a good sacrifice bunt right here by Kyle, getting the ball toward first base. Loesch, the pitcher, has to field it and then get the sure out, making sure he kind of semi-deadens the ball right there, landing in front of the pitcher. Matheny moves to second, 2 outs.
Vina's single in the first pitch he saw from Kyle Loesch back in the first inning, and then lifted a fly ball to Quinton McCracken out in center field. To center, McCracken coming in, and he can't make the play. Another run will score. The ball sinking in front of McCracken for another 2-out hit that produces a run for the Cardinals.
McCracken comes in on this ball. He's playing pretty deep, just like Joe Buck said earlier, but the ball coming in and dying right in front of McCracken. He dives for it, and the ball hitting the grass before it stays in front of him, but on the play, Matheny makes it a 3-1 lead. And Vina picks up his second single of the ball game, his 34th RBI.
And here's Paso Polanco. We've got a major storm boiling, just about ready to spill over on the Busch Stadium here. Steal a line from Steve Martin and the man with 2 brains. The breeze feels nice, but it brings with it the threat of very severe weather here momentarily. That's pulled foul.
Let's look at the hot zone of Polanco. Very good hitter, a utility player here, now getting an opportunity to play every day at third base. This based on 1,157 pitches that Polanco has seen since April 1st of last year.
A lot of debris is blown onto the field here. We had a squall that kicked up a bunch of dust in the warning track in the outfield. 1 strike to Polanco. We've had a rather dramatic temperature change too. It's dropped about 15 degrees in the last 10 minutes. And that hit Polanco, and that'll get Edmonds to the plate. So the Cardinals keep stringing things along here, getting base runners with 2 out in the inning.
Loesch trying to get that 2-seam fastball inside, and ends up hitting Polanco right there on the shirt.
Jim Edmonds, the hitter. He's got a walk, a base hit, and a run scored. Kind of hard to watch, decide what to watch here. The impending doom that awaits us all from the skies or the baseball game. Edmonds takes a breaking ball for a strike. It's pretty in a way.
It really is. I'm looking for a spaceship to come out of there.
Cardinals with the lead, adding another run here in the 4th.
Maybe it's time for me to go home.
Driven down the left field line. And now 0-2 to Jim Edmonds. Cardinals getting a run in the 2nd, a run in the 3rd, 1 so far here in the 4th, but there are 2 more runners out there. Joe Mays looking over his left shoulder. and in. 1-2. Been a long inning for Kyle Loesch.
Came into the inning with 57 pitches. Right now it's 75, so 28 pitches so far in here the fourth inning for Kyle Loesch. He has walked 3, has struck out 1 batter.
And now inside again. No activity in the Twins pen, in case you're wondering. The pitcher spot is due up 3rd in the 5th inning. Might be a stretch to assume that we'll have a top of the 5th here. A drive to right, a base hit. Allen charges. Vigna around 3rd. Allen's throw to the plate, off the line. Another Cardinal run, and it's 4-1. And all of this constructed with 2 out in the inning.
Jimmy Edmonds picks up his 2nd single of the ball game, picks up his 51st RBI. Loesch leaving the ball up a little bit. It's a breaking ball, and Edmonds right in front of Chad Allen. Chad Allen's throw a little bit up the line, but Vigna good speed at second base, scores the 2nd run of the inning.
And Dick Such will come to the mound. Now Travis Miller starts to get loose in a hurry down in the Twins bullpen. Jim Edmonds and Doug Mientkiewicz comparing notes at first base. Loesch has seen the Cardinals just peck away at him here in this ball game. A leadoff walk on the 2nd, and he looked like he might get out of the inning, but then a 2-out hit by Matheny scored the run. Then the first 2 outs came in the 3rd pretty easily. Then single, walk, scored another run, and then in the 4th, a 1-out single followed by a sacrifice bunt, but now single, hit batter single, scored 2 more runs. Gonna need a jacket before this inning's over.
I like this a lot better than what we had at the top of the inning.
Fastball is inside. And of course the Twins don't want this thing to get too far out of hand, because look what they've done in this stadium. Counting the 1987 World Series, they scored 5 runs in 3 games here, lost all 3. Scored 2 runs in 3 games in the first year of interleague play here. Actually did all right 2 years ago here, but just 4 runs scored so far. Here's a grounder backhanded by Hocking. Quick release. Good throw on 1 hop to get Paquette. And a big play by Hocking to get the Twins out of the 4th inning. But the Cardinals score 2 more and lead it 4-1.
All over the place.
Tonight's carrier, who's hot and who's not. Todd Ritchie took a no-hitter into the 9th inning. Luis Alicea busted it up for him. Ichiro Suzuki not doing well just prior to the break and right after the break. Twins will hope that he continues to struggle offensively, and when the Twins take on the Mariners 7 times for the balance of this month, they won't have to pitch to Edgar Martinez, who was put on the disabled list yesterday by the Mariners. Rivas at the plate, taking a strike, then a ball, 1-1. Rivas with a single, got as far as 3rd base back in the 3rd inning. A breaking ball for a strike, 1-2.
Darryl Kyle has a lot of confidence in that curveball. He'll throw it when he's behind in the count.
Rivas with a soft liner to Paquette, 1 away. It is not an official game yet. In 2 more outs, provided the Twins are trailing, it would be an official game. Jacques Jones, the hitter, he bounced to Paquette his first time up. And Jones more deliberately getting back into the box now. And if you're a pitcher, of course, what you want to do here is throw strikes. And if there's bad weather coming, you want whatever is going to happen here in the top of the 5th happen as quickly as possible. 1 strike to Jones. Renteria scoops, fires 2 away.
Nice play by Renteria right here. He goes to a little bit to his right to get in front of this ball. Ball hit off the end of the bat. It's got a lot of spin on it. And with the run to the middle of the diamond, makes a strong throw.
Casey Blake will hit for Kyle Loesch. And he takes a breaking ball for a strike. He's down by 3 runs. Loesch was struggling a little bit, so Tom Kelly going to Blake.
Casey played in yesterday's ball game, 2 for 3.
High hopper, Renteria to his left. He's got it. And right now, this is a regulation game with Kyle working quickly to the bottom 3rd of the Twins lineup. He comes off the mound with a 4-1 lead on the Hyundai scoreboard. 5 of the 8 Cardinal hits have come with 2 out in the inning, and that's why they've scored 4 runs with 2 outs. They've got a 4-1 lead, and we've got a Powerball pitching change.
Our Powerball pitching change brings in Travis Miller. Travis worked in last night's ball game an inning plus. He worked the 7th inning, allowed 1 hit in the 7th, and then walked Edmonds to lead off the 8th. He came out of the ball game in favor of Hector Carrasco. Hector gave up a couple base hits, and then the winning run scored. So Travis picked up his 3rd loss of the year in last night's ball game.
Luis Pujols leading off 5th inning for St. Louis. Ball 1.
135, and then he'll walk down the stairs.
Pujols has walked a couple of times, scored a run. His run scored in the 2nd, the 1st run of the ball game. Lash to right field. Allen will try to cut it off. He does. It's a leadoff single here in the 5th. Well, let's go back to happier times when runs against the Cardinals came in bunches appropriately at the Metrodome. A couple of big home runs in the '87 World Series.
And Gladden in game 1, the home run. And Herbeck in game 6, both of them being grand slams.
Herbeck's against Ken Daly. First pitch he threw coming out of the bullpen. Earlier in that game, and a lot of people have forgotten this, Don Baylor hit his only home run as a Twin to tie the game at 5. The Cardinals early in the ball game looked like they were going to wrap up the series in 6. And Dan Gladden now, of course, working in the Twins radio booth next to John Gordon. Langford with 1 strike. Lightning flashing all around Busch Stadium. Good thing Mark McGwire's not at the plate with the lightning flashing above the stadium and the flash bulbs popping when he hits.
Natural.
You have to have sunglasses on to watch the ball game. And Langford's called out on strikes. 2nd time tonight that he has gone down on strikes.
And 7th time in the series.
Yeah, he seems to be hearing more and more boos every time he strikes out. 1 out, and here's Renteria. Renteria with a ground ball to 3rd to pop up to 2nd. Cardinals with 9 hits, every one of them singles. And the first pitch misses, ball 1. The Twins have a double and 4 singles. Tom Kelly has said didn't really like interleague baseball because I mean, it makes no difference to him when the games are at the Metrodome and he gets to use a designated hitter. But in National League ballparks, designated hitter is a key part of what the Twins try to do offensively. You have pitchers going up there who haven't hit in years. Pierzynski picks up, fires right on the bag. A great throw by Pierzynski. And Pujols is thrown out for out number 2.
Well, Pujols not with a lot of speed. He doesn't have a stolen base yet at the major league level. This ball getting away from AJ, but look how quick he pounces on it, and then the throw to Rivas right on the mark.
Two away and 2-0 the count to Renteria. You know, in the '87 World Series, the Twins couldn't use Don Baylor here. He was the primary designated hitter. And you know, that was one of the reasons why the Cardinals won 3 low-scoring ball games.
You think it'll always stay the same? You think the National League will always have where the pitcher has to hit, and the American League will always keep the designated hitter?
We've talked about this before. Right. I think for a change, you and I are in agreement. You know, the National League game is, for me, not just because of the novelty, and everybody has their own opinion. You're Republican, you're Democrat, you're whatever, but everybody has an opinion on the DH. And I think the National League game is a better game to watch. In the dirt, and it's ball 4 to Renteria. And I think you feel the same way, don't you? I mean,
well, I have the good points and the bad points.
Right.
When I was a pitcher, I liked the designated hitter, especially when I first came in 1973, because Tony Oliva was hitting in my spot. And I would much rather have faced anybody knowing that their pitcher had to face Tony.
Twins fans, Thursday's your chance to receive a free concert ticket. First 10,000 fans will receive a free We Fest ticket for the early August Country Jam in Detroit Lakes. The Twins and A's game starts Thursday at 7 o'clock. You can call the charge lines for tickets. And don't get me wrong, I've enjoyed watching Tony Oliva as a designated hitter and Paul Molitor extend his career as a designated hitter, but I don't, even those who don't like watching pitchers hit, I think would admit that there's an added layer of strategy that a manager has to deal with by playing by these rules. You enjoying the light show?
I feel like I'm in Seattle and that train's coming through. Unbelievable lightning.
And thunder. Matheny swings and misses 0-2.
And also, I like the designated hitter because as a pitcher, and you down 1-0 in the 7th inning, you're not going to get pinched hit for it.
Right. But now up here as a viewer.
And the umpires finally say, okay, enough is enough, even though it's not raining, or it's just starting to now. They're going to put the tarp on.
Because they know that when it starts, and it has started now, it is going to come down with some force.
And now it's a matter of how long can it.
We Fest ticket tomorrow in the opening game of the series and the homestand. So Mike Matheny's had about an hour and 20 minutes to worry about what kind of pitch he was going to get on this 0-2 count. He's gotten a couple of hits, an RBI single in the second, scoring the first run of the game, then a single and a run scored in the fourth. The runner at first is Edgar Renteria, and the 0-2 to Matheny, lofted foul and out of play. Hour and 17-minute rain delay officially. And it was raining hard for most of that rain delay. Another 2-strike pitch from Crescent. Rounded to short. Hocking has it. Goes on the run on target to Minkiewicz, and the Cardinals are finally done in the bottom of the 5th. A new ball game.
That's a long inning.
Of the ball game to the 6th with the Cardinals up 4-1. Back at Busch Stadium to the top of the 6th inning, the Cardinals leading 4-1, and I'm a little surprised. Darryl Kyle, after a rain delay of nearly an hour and 20 minutes, is back out there, even though he pitched 5 innings and can qualify for a win.
Well, a couple things can happen right here, or he's thinking about right here. He either doesn't trust his bullpen or he feels very, very good. He hasn't thrown a lot of pitches over the first 5 innings, but an hour and 17-minute rain delay. He's back out there.
The pitcher spot is due to lead off the 6th inning. If Matheny had reached, we thought, well, maybe then Kyle would be pinch hit for, but there wasn't anybody warming up in the Cardinal bullpen while the Cardinals were hitting. Quentin McCracken leads off the 6th of the Twins, and he takes strike 1. McCracken hitless in 2 at bats. He did hit the ball hard his last time up. A 2-out line out to Pujols and right, and it came with a runner at third base. Sharp roller to the right of Vina. Nice pickup. The throw. A tag right before McCracken got to the bag. Paquette with the catch and the tag on McCracken for the first out.
That's a nice play by Vina, only because that's where the tarp was dumped. When they pull the tarp off, a lot of water right in this area, but he feels it cleanly. Makes a strong throw a little bit up the line, but Paquette right there to tag McCracken before the first out.
1 out, and Denny Hocking coming to the plate. Hocking singled leading off the 4th. He scored on the Minkiewicz double into the right field corner. The inning starting very well for the Twins, but then Kyle got the next 3 hitters, and the Twins got just the 1 run. Charge lines are open if you'd like to catch some of the next homestand starting tomorrow. 2 with Oakland and then 4 with Seattle. Hocking takes a breaking ball for strike 2. What was the longest you sat out between pitches during a rain delay?
About an hour and a half, but it was early in the ball game, maybe the 2nd or 3rd inning. I don't think I've ever sat out after going 5 innings for that long a time.
I remember Ben McDonald late in his career with the Orioles sat out nearly 2 hours and then came back and pitched and did okay, but shortly after that, you know, whether it was a coincidence or not, you never know, he developed arm problems and he was never the same pitcher after that. Hocking strikes out number 2. All season long, Fox Sports Net is your place to turn for the latest news, highlights, and information on the NASCAR Winston Cup Series. Tomorrow, Totally NASCAR, your exclusive all-access Garage Pass. 30 minutes of NASCAR news and highlights tomorrow at 6 on Fox Sports Net. 2 down on the 6th. Here's Doug Minkiewicz. A perfect night at the plate so far. A single in the 1st, an RBI double in the 4th. And strike 1.
And Kyle throwing nothing but strikes.
Twins with 5. It's Minkiewicz with 2 of them. And now 1-1. Sharply hit number 3. Minkiewicz with a good night at the plate and a 2-out hit here in the 6th. You can judge in many ways how well a team is going by counting the run producing 2-out hits, and the Cardinals have scored 4 runs in the ball game, all 4 coming on 2-out hits. We'll see if the Twins can put together some kind of a 2-out rally here in the 6th. Koski at the plate, and he's 1 for 2. Bouncer wide of first. Before the rain delay, we were told that the Minnesota Twins have called a press conference for tomorrow at 2 o'clock. And the presumption is that it has something to do with the number 1 draft choice, Mr. Mauer. And they generally don't call press conferences to announce that negotiations have broken off. So we hope that's good news tomorrow. Joe Mauer, the number 1 overall pick in the country. And the Twins announcing a press conference will be held tomorrow at 2 o'clock.
That'll be great news if he does sign.
1-1. Dukoski. Twins with a chance after a cloud burst here in St. Louis to get back and win a ball game. There's strike 2. Twins were denied a chance in Cleveland earlier this year. Game interrupted in the middle of the 7th inning with the Indians leading 9-6, and I don't think there was anybody in a Twins uniform that night who thought the game was going to end 9-6. And Twins felt a little cheated that the crew chief and the umpiring crew that night didn't approach his job a little bit more diligently, get the tarp on the field so there was a chance to make up the game. They never did get the tarp completely on the field, and the game was washed out in favor of the Indians. 1-2 Dukoski, and you saw Cleveland winning handily. If the Indians cough up that big lead in the 9th inning, a lot of heads are going to roll. That hit Koski? He's limping, but apparently the ball didn't hit him. Well, now he's throwing the bat away, I think.
Or he's asking the umpire, but the umpire not giving any indication. Take a look at the breaking ball down and in.
Check for shoe polish.
Corey right on top of the toe. His left foot.
Maybe he doesn't want to go to first. Maybe he senses something is coming.
Is that a call?
Looked like it hit him right on the end of the foot. Two and 2 Dukoski. And now 3-2 with Chad Allen on deck. And Koski having a little chat again with the home plate umpire. I don't know who's doing more of the talking. Ed Montague stepped into the batter's box to talk to Koski. Three and 2 with 2 away. Minkiewicz will take off from first. There he goes. And Koski taps it foul. Dave Veers, who was a closer for the Cardinals, has had some rough moments, and he's warming up here in the 6th inning.
Marquette, the first baseman, now playing behind Minkiewicz. I was a little surprised he was holding him on right there. 3-2.
Called third strike, and Corey knew it. So the Twins get a 1-2 out hit, and they needed at least one more. It's still 4-1 St. Louis. We're at Busch Stadium. We had a long rain delay. The Cardinals jumped out to a 4-1 lead before the rains came. Now the Twins will try to come from behind. Along with Bert Blyleven and Anthony LaPanta, I'm Dick Bramer. You know, before the rain came, we tried to send Anthony LaPanta up to the top of the St. Louis Arch to get his perspective on the electrical storm as it approached this area.
He got about halfway up and decided to come back down.
So we haven't heard from him since, but we hope he's okay.
Speak for yourself.
Margo, we're just kidding. He's just fine. We saw him just a few minutes ago. Here's Darryl Kyle, the pitcher, hitting to lead off the 6th inning. And there's a strike. It'll be Kyle, Vina, and Polanco. And Crescent bends another one over. Strike 2. Final score, well, shouldn't say that. It's not a final score yet. It's still 10-4 Cleveland over Houston. Astros still batting. Swing and a miss. Kyle's gone on strikes for the first out of the 6th inning. After the game, the Twins fly home. They open up a 6-game homestand tomorrow night against the red-hot Oakland A's. Oakland won again today over the Rockies. They are trying to get back into the wild card race. Pre-game show at 6:30. Game time a little after 7 o'clock on Fox Sports Net. Brad Radke going for the Twins against Tim Hudson of the A's.
Should be a good matchup.
Twins will see a lot of Oakland and a lot of Seattle. After tonight's game, they're done, of course, with interleague play and the National League Central. And then starting tomorrow, the Twins have the 6-game homestand. And then 6 of the first 9 of the next road trip are all against Seattle and Oakland. So it will not be an easy part of the schedule, although the Mariners right now playing maybe their softest baseball of the year. They're dealing with some injuries too. We mentioned earlier Edgar Martinez is on the disabled list. Koski to Minkiewicz, and out number 2 here in the Cardinal 6.
So far so good for Jack Crescent. 3 up, 3 down. He came in relief of Travis Miller last inning, got the final out. He's retired the first 2 batters here in the bottom of the 6th.
Placido Polanco will hit. He was hit by a pitch his last time up. In the dirt, and ball 1. Cardinals hoping to extend a winning streak to 4 games tonight. Twins winners of 15 of their last 20. To avoid a 3-game losing streak before opening up the homestand tomorrow. Koski gets the line drive. Polanco's retired, and Crescent has a 1-2-3-6. To the 7th with the Cardinals up by 3.
Names that have been mentioned and are rumored to be possibilities for Minnesota are Pedro Estacio, who would cost about $2.5 million the rest of the year. Andres Galarraga, the Twins reportedly had scouts watching him in Texas earlier this week, or maybe Todd Jones, an extra arm for their bullpen. Jones has struggled this year for Detroit, but it's not something that the Twins necessarily want to rush into, because as we've seen over the last couple of weeks, the trade made by their competitors in the Central hasn't exactly worked out that well. The Cleveland Plain Dealer reported earlier today that John Rocker is out as the Indians closer. The players that left to make room for Rocker, Steve Carsey and Steve Reed, have done very well in Atlanta so far this year. So you can bet the Twins are going to be careful here over the next week or so. A move might be necessary, but as you guys well know, there are a lot of different variables that go into these deals. Back upstairs to Dick and Bert.
Well, you're absolutely right. You just don't know what the Twins are going to do. Sees Vania right there, a little bit hurt.
Looks like he slipped. Maybe in the grass in that wet area you spoke of earlier.
Jimmy Edmonds right there, and the ball coming up and hitting him.
Nice one-hop throw from 60 feet. Here's Pierzynski, and he drives it foul back toward the upper deck.
I know, Dick, I get a lot of emails about people, you know, what trades are the Twins going to do. It's going to be up to Tom Kelly, Terry Ryan, the organization, to really look and see if they are able to get us a Galarraga, if he's able to help us. But what's that going to do in a clubhouse? What's it going to do to the chemistry of the team? With David Ortiz hopefully come back at the end of the month, is there going to be enough at-bats? LaTroy Hawkins has done a very good job. 24 saves and 28 opportunities out of the bullpen.
Here's a drive to left center field. Edmonds chasing it, and he makes a sliding catch. Oh, what a catch by Jim Edmonds.
Remember, in the first game of this series, I said we have 2 of the best center fielders in the game. Jimmy Edmonds right here dives for this ball and comes up with a great diving catch, probably robbing AJ of a double. And the fans that have stayed around just saw an outstanding catch by Jimmy Edmonds.
Coming off a left-handed bat, that ball slicing away from Edmonds as he was trying to track it down. Just a superb catch by the Cardinal center fielder. And now Matheny will go out and talk to Darryl Kyle. You know, getting back to the chemistry in the clubhouse and all that, it's easy to say, oh, sure, the Twins need, say, a right-handed bat, another starting pitcher, maybe another relief pitcher. But the teams that have those commodities that the Twins might be interested in, Tony La Russa is going to come out and make a pitching change, are going to ask, obviously, for value in return. How much do you take out of this ball club that has, you know, had essentially the second best record in baseball almost all year long? What do you take out of this club? And how do you tinker at all with a club that's won 15 out of 18 ball games as they had coming into this series?
You're absolutely right. And you know, the biggest thing is you don't want to mess up the chemistry. You don't want to mess up your minor league system, because this has been an ongoing thing, an ongoing building of this team for the last 5 or 6 years.
A couple of well-hit balls early in the 7th inning. Darryl Kyle leaves and a pitching change here in St. Louis. Cardinals leading 4-1, but the Twins teeing off a little bit on Darryl Kyle in the 7th inning, and so now he gives way to right-hander Dave Veers.
Veers pitched on Sunday afternoon against the Twins, making his 40th appearance. In that Sunday afternoon game, he worked only a third of an inning. He gave up a hit with a walk. A run ended up scoring. In that 9th inning, the Twins ended up losing that ball game 5-1 when they were shut out for 8 innings.
Darryl Kyle completed 5 innings and then pitched another inning and a third after the rain delay. So a total of 6 1/3 innings, 7 hits, 1 run so far. Didn't walk anybody, struck out 6.
And he ended up throwing only 78 pitches.
The hitter, Luis Rivas. And then the Twins hope to send Jacques Jones, maybe a pinch hitter for Jack Crescent. Trying to get back into the ballgame here, down by 3 runs. You know, I enjoyed talking with Joe Buck and Al Hrabosky during the 3rd inning, as we did. We hooked up the 2 booths together. But I do think that they get a little spoiled here in St. Louis with Jim Edmonds being able to play so shallow and make plays like that to the gaps. Not many center fielders can make the catch that Jim Edmonds just made. Rivas gives Edmonds another try. This one a much easier play. Out number 2. So 2 down in the Twins' 7th. And a big weekend coming up at the Metrodome. A clash of the 2 top teams in the major leagues. The Twins hosting the Mariners, a showdown series presented by Dodge and your friendly Dodge dealers. Get your tickets now to the Twins Seattle series. Watch Ichiro and company. You can call the charge lines or log on to twinsbaseball.com.
You know, we have the opportunity to watch Jimmy Edmonds make a great catch. We've seen Torrey Hunter make a great catch. And even that fly ball right there, as soon as it left the bat, Jimmy Edmonds almost knew exactly where that ball was going to go.
Jones lashes one foul down the left field line. Cleveland scored 10. And tonight it was enough as they beat Houston 10-4. Unless the Twins can turn this game around, the homestand will open tomorrow night with the Twins in front by 4 games, with 69 games to play for the Twins, 71 for the Indians. A lot of baseball yet to be played. Down and in, 1-1. It looks like there's going to be a race in the American League Central for the first time since there was an American League Central. When they split into 3 divisions, the Indians rolled through the division championship for the first 5 years. Last year, the White Sox pretty much ran away with it. We might actually have a division race in the Central this year.
Well, the Twins hope not.
Hope that they pulled away enough that that last road trip will be meaningless. Yeah,
I hope so.
2-1 from Veers to Jones. Eddie Guardado's warming up, and Matt Lawton's in the on-deck circle. Pitcher spot is due up next. Bouncer to second. Vina has it, and there's a throw to Paquette. Twins get a leadoff single. Robbed of an RBI and maybe a big inning by Jim Edmonds in center field. We go to the bottom of the 7th. St. Louis 4 and the Twins 1. Cardinals have had great luck here against the Twins, and their luck may continue tonight. They are leading 4-1. Still got a couple of innings worth of at-bats for the Twins. And a reminder, coming up Sunday night at 8 o'clock, it's Beyond the Glory. An in-depth look at Roy Jones Jr. Sunday night at 8. Beyond the Glory. To be seen only on Fox Sports Net. How many times you see it? A guy makes a great catch in the middle of an inning. And then he leads off the next half inning.
Well, he's had a very nice evening. 2 for 2 at the plate with a walk. He's walked 4 times already in this series. Edmonds a big key to this offense. Saw what he can do defensively, but a very important key to this Cardinal offense if they want to try to catch the Cubs and the Astros.
Edmonds a walk and a pair of singles. He'll be followed by Paquette and Pujols. Fastball on the outside corner, strike 1. Paid attendance tonight, a little over 40,000. All 3 games drawing over 40,000.
They love their baseball here in St. Louis.
Yeah, but how many of them have stayed? I mean, this is just a wonderful baseball town here. Not how many have showed up, but so many have stuck around after an hour and 17-minute rain delay. I think at most ballparks, you have a rain delay of that length, you might have about 200 people left. We got probably 10,000 fans here yet. 2 strikes to Jim Edmonds. And now 1-2. Bresson came into the ball game to get the final out of the 5th. Got that, and then the 3 hitters he faced in the 6th. Great stop at first by Minkevich, and he'll make the play himself. Doug Minkevich robbing Edmonds of his 3rd hit tonight. A great play right up the line.
Well, it's only fitting that the Twins make a great play on Jimmy Edmonds. This time it's Minkevich. These 2 guys, Edmonds and Minkevich, you could probably do about an hour of highlight films just on them on these great plays they've made already this year. Diving to his left, comes up and takes the bag himself for the 1st out. Nice play, Minkevich.
It's pure coincidence, but it's like his reputation is so good now, he doesn't get a chance to make plays like that. Remember the first 2 months of the year, like every other game he'd turn in a great play like that. Teams just aren't hitting the ball at him much anymore.
Hitters are getting smarter,
I guess. 1 down in the 7th, and here's Paquette. First pitch missing, 1-0. Popped up and out of play. This stadium opened up in 1966, and they've already got plans in place to replace it. A month or so ago, the team and the city and state reached agreement on a downtown revitalization program that includes a new ballpark for the Cardinals. Swing and a miss. 1-2 to Paquette. And out of envy, I guess, and a little bit of surprise too. I mean, you hardly heard a whimper out of the. I mean, everybody was for it. Let's just do it.
The only whimper you hear is the people in Kansas City that they want what the Cardinals get, a new stadium.
And if the Royals get one, let's take Kauffman Stadium, jack it up, put it on wheels, and bring it up Highway 35. In Kansas City's case, as beautiful as Kauffman Stadium is, it doesn't have much in the way of luxury suites or anything. And if Kansas City were to ever get a new ballpark, it wouldn't be out in the country. It would be downtown. That's the location, preferred location for almost all the new stadiums, Miller Park being the exception. 2-2 to Paquette, and there's strike 3, 2 away.
And Jack Crescent picking up his 2nd strikeout. 6 up, 6 down for Jack. This is a breaking ball. Paquette reaching out. Just can't reach out far enough.
2 down. Crescent has retired all 6 men he's faced, and now here's Luis Pujols. I knew I was going to do it once. Albert Pujols.
You're thinking of his brother.
Crescent misses with the breaking ball. Pujols went to high school in the Kansas City area. Will probably win the National League Rookie of the Year award, and while there shouldn't be an asterisk by that award, maybe in the American League this year and last year there should. So a foregone conclusion that Ichiro Suzuki is going to win the American League Rookie of the Year award, even though he was an all-star, a 7-time batting champion in Japan.
2 good breaking balls right there from Crescent to Pujols.
Crescent spot due to lead off the 8th inning. This might be his last hitter.
He's done a very good job for the Twins since being called up when David Ortiz was put on a disabled list back on May 4th. This is his 22nd appearance out of the bullpen. Came into this ball game with a 3.29 earned run average.
1-2 to Pujols. Breaking ball hammered to short. Hocking scoops and fires. Jack Crescent with a nice night's work. 2 1/3 innings of hitless relief after the rain delay. We go on to the 8th. Tom Kelly trying to get the attention of home plate umpire Ed Montague. And Matt Lawton will be the pinch hitter here in the 8th inning in the pitcher spot. Lawton struggling since the break, just 1 hit in 18 at bats.
And Matt Lawton is a pinch hitter, 2 hits in 3 plate appearances.
Check swing, ball 1. It'll be Lawton, then McCracken and Hocking. Lawton, the only left-handed hitter on the Twins bench. And a strike, 1-1. Bob Wells warming up. He apparently will pitch next for the Twins in the bottom of the 8th inning. Twins getting their run in the 4th. Cutting what was then a 2-run Cardinal lead to 1. Tap foul, 1-2. Usually teams do pretty well when they get their leadoff man on, but in 4 of the 7 innings tonight, the Twins have gotten a leadoff hit. I think Tom Kelly will be glad that interleague baseball is over for the season. 2-2. Steve Klein warming up in the Cardinal bullpen. And now 3-2. If the Twins lose this game and the Cardinals complete the sweep, there will be 2 sweeps on the ledger for the Twins, against the Cubs and against the Cardinals. Both interleague series, no DH, and in each case the opponent was able to go through the back end of the Twins rotation, facing just one of the top 3 starters in each case.
If the Twins were to lose this ball game, there would be 0-3 against St. Louis and end up 9-9 in interleague play.
Adam Johnson, the starter in last night's ball game. 3-2 to Lawton. And he takes ball 4. So again, the leadoff man is on here in the 8th inning. Charge lines are open if you'd like to welcome us home tomorrow night at the Metrodome. 612-33-TWINS or 1-800-33-TWINS. Brad Radke and Tim Hudson tomorrow in the opening game of a little 2-game series. And the Mariners here for 4. Last chance to see the Mariners this year. Only played Seattle twice this year. And the Twins won a 1-run ball game, and the Mariners won a 1-run ball game. Here's McCracken. Foul ball. McCracken lined out to Pujols in the 3rd, and then was robbed of a hit by Vigna, who turned in a nice play and a ground ball up the middle. Would like to get McCracken going here. He's had a tough time picking up hits. And strike 2.
McCracken has pitched on the outer half of the plate. Pretty good pitch.
Two strikes to McCracken, and a foul over the Cardinal dugout, out of play, or over the Twins dugout rather. Mears came in to get the last 2 outs of the 7th inning. Now he's issued a leadoff walk here in the 8th.
Mears with a fastball slider and that split finger. That's his strikeout pitch.
Up and away, 1-2. Cubs won over the Royals 7-4, so the Cardinals can't pick up any ground tonight on the first place team in their division. They can pick up a game on Houston. Losers to Cleveland 10-4. McCracken pops it up down the left field line. A long run for all 3 Cardinals. Langford can't get there, and Lawton's in to second base. So a looping single to left puts McCracken aboard. The first 2 hitters reach, and the Twins will bring the tying run to the plate.
Well, sometimes when you're struggling a little bit, you need hits like this right off the end of the bat. It's just out of reach of Renteria. He looks to see if Langford can get it, but it lands in front of Langford, so Matt Lawton has to wait. He ends up at second. McCracken gets a base hit. Twins get their 8th hit of the ball game.
And Tony La Russa is going to make a double switch here. Going to send Robinson out to right field.
Here we go.
This is what you wanted.
Yep.
In the last game of interleague baseball, you finally get your double switch. Again, you have to go as a manager to the home plate umpire first before you cross the line, and Pujols is coming out. Robinson moves to right, and Veers leaves the ball game. And Klein will come in with the Twins lined up to send their left-hand hitters up. Switch hitting Denny Hocking will be the first hitter he faces with a pitching change here in St. Louis. 4-1 St. Louis, but the Twins have a promising start to the 8th inning. With a walk and a single to start the inning and a double switch by the Cardinals, Kerry Robinson is in right field. He'll hit in the 9th spot in the batting order. And Steve Klein comes out of the bullpen. The pitcher spot moves up to the 5th spot.
Klein coming in for the 3rd straight day against the Twins. He worked on Sunday an inning. Ended up throwing 19 pitches on Sunday, and last night's ball game an inning and a 1/3. Klein threw 17 pitches last night.
He was taken out of the ball game last night with Denny Hocking due up. And Tony La Russa brought in Mike Timlin, and that set up the Twins bench. They brought Mankiewicz off the bench. He got a ground rule double and nearly opened the whole inning up for the Twins. Here, Tom Kelly will let Hocking hit. Behind Hocking, Minkiewicz, and Koski, a pair of left-handed hitters. Hocking takes outside, ball one.
Steve Klein will go at Denny Hocking with a fastball, a slider, an occasional curveball, and a changeup. Though a slider more than a curveball. The first pitch, a hard slider.
Two and 0. And right-hander Mike Timlin apparently will back up Klein in the bullpen tonight. Two and 0 from Klein to Hocking. 3-0, and Klein struggling with his control here. Hocking represents the tying run in the middle of the Twins batting order. Is coming up.
Klein 54th appearance. He's worked a total of 43 and 2/3 innings, so he's asked maybe to get one or two batters.
Ball four, and they are loaded up with nobody out here in the eighth. Twins on the night getting a great night from Doug Minkiewicz. He's already got 3 hits.
Base hit in the first inning up the middle, and then a double that scored Denny Hocking, this in the 4th inning, and then his last at bat in the 6th inning. Base hit between first and second.
Now facing a tough lefty in Klein, although Klein walked Denny Hocking on 4 pitches. Nobody out. And the Twins, who've been sorely in need of a clutch hit in this series, have a chance to get one from Minkiewicz. There's a fastball for a strike.
Very good numbers with bases loaded. 10 for 22.
I'd like to fill in, make that a Yahtzee line. Fill in that 0. Popped up left center field. Edmonds in position for the catch. Not deep enough for any of the runners to move, and Minkiewicz is denied an RBI. 1 out. And now Koski will try. Koski singled his first time up. Since then, a ground ball to first, and he was called out on strikes to close out the 6th inning. Corey started this road trip with a phenomenal game, a pair of home runs and a pair of doubles in Milwaukee on Thursday.
Faced Klein on Sunday. He ended up striking out against Klein. See if he can do better this time.
A drive to center. Edmonds back for the catch. Tagging from third and scoring is Matt Lawton, and Koski can't hit a ball any harder than he just did, but it was right at Edmonds. A sacrifice fly, and it's a 4-2 ball game.
When this ball left his bat, I thought it might go over Edmonds' head, but Edmonds playing pretty shallow. This ball hit right at him. Nice swing right there by Corey, but Jimmy Edmonds right there. Matt Lawton tagging up and scoring. Corey Koski with that sacrifice fly drives in his 61st run of the year.
And did you really think Tony La Russa would let Klein face Chad Allen? La Russa coming out, making another pitching change. 3rd pitcher this inning. Twins getting 1. They've got 2 runners out there on the bases. And Mike Timlin will come in to try to get Chad Allen. Twins trying to close the gap here in St. Louis. Here in the 8th inning. Cardinals sweating it out, no pun intended. 3rd pitcher of the inning is right-hander Mike Timlin.
Timlin worked a 1/3 of an inning in last night's ball game. He gave up a hit, but that was a double to Minkiewicz. But then he got Chad Allen to hit a 1-hopper right back at him. Timlin in for the 45th time. Pretty good control. 12 walks in 51 1/3 innings in his first full season with the Cardinals.
He faced Chad Allen last night in the 9th inning after the Twins had put together the start of a promising inning. After the Minkiewicz ground rule double anchored Rivas at third base. Then Allen came up to the plate, hit a quick one-hopper back to the mound, head high, and Timlin was able to get his glove up to get it. If it didn't get snared by the pitcher, pretty good bet it bounces into center field and a couple of runs score.
Well, he worked Chad Allen in with fastballs last night. Timlin with a fastball, that two-seamer that'll run in on right-handed hitters, and then also a very hard slider, a very sharp slider.
Pretty good speed on the bases with McCracken at second and Hocking at first. Twins trying to tie it up here in the 8th inning. Allen, big swing and a foul, 1 strike. Allen with 2 strikeouts, but then he got a base hit to start the 7th inning.
Timlin in his 11th major league season. First came up at Toronto in 1991.
Down and away, 1-1 in the inning. Twins got a leadoff walk to Lawton, a base hit, little pop fly single by McCracken, another walk to Hocking, and then a couple of fly balls to Edmund. Wish they would hit one to Edmonton. The second one, a line drive off the bat of Koski, scoring Lawton from third base. 1-1 to Chad Allen. And another foul. 1-2. Allen's home runs last night went to right field and center. One and two from Timlin to Allen. Got him looking. So the Twins fill the bases and get one in the 8th. It's 4-2 St. Louis. Four to 2, the Cardinals trying to make it a sweep over the Twins. The Twins have had some chances. They've just been unable to get the key hit, but there'll be another plate opportunity. The Twins hope for Matt Lawton. He stays in the game and would hit 4th in the 9th inning. Bob Wells coming into the game. The pitcher's spot is now 5th as the Twins execute a double switch in the 8th inning.
Bob Wells coming in for the 43rd time. He last pitched against the Brewers at Miller Park. On Saturday, he worked 1 inning, gave up a couple hits with a run, still ended up winning that ball game. 8-3 on the year for Bob Wells with 1 save, and that coming on the opening day in Detroit.
Ray Lankford will hit for the Cardinals. And Wells starts him with strike 1. In case you're wondering why we're still on the air a little after 11 o'clock, we had a rain delay of 1 hour and 17 minutes in the middle of this ball game. In the bottom of the 5th. 0-2. Lankford seems to really be struggling at the plate right now. Caught in the air. No, I beg your pardon. It was fielded on 1 short hop by Hocking over to Minkiewicz, 1 away. And again, a reminder that if you'd like to go to a baseball game and get a free ticket to We Fest in August, the night to go is tomorrow. And you can call the charge line 612-33-TWINS or 1-800-33-TWINS. Getting in essence, a 2-for-1 ticket deal. Good night of baseball and a good night of country music. Renteria bunts. Wells fields. 2 away. Twins bullpen doing a nice job tonight. after Kyle Osh gave up 4 runs in the first 4 innings. Travis Miller, Jack Crescent, and now Bob Wells are doing a nice job against the Cardinals. Mike Matheny coming to the plate. There's a foul ball. Back into the seats. 1 strike. Cardinals trying to win tonight without Mark McGwire in the lineup. La Russa giving him occasional days off. McGwire struggling offensively. And the knee not quite 100% yet. Up and in. 1-1. If the Cardinals are going to repeat as division champions, he's going to have to at least swing the bat healthier than he has so far this year. Here's a drive to left center field. That's hit pretty well. Back to the wall. Jacques Jones with a nice catch in the gap, in front of the gap. 3 up, 3 down for Bob Wells in the 8th. We go to the 9th. 4 home runs. He did not homer yet in this series. 9 home runs behind Harmon Killebrew. And Harmon 5th in the all-time home run list.
Look at the young Harmon.
Home run at Metropolitan Stadium, and this one, and I'm wondering if this isn't the one that maybe went up on the roof at Tiger Stadium. At any rate, Harmon was at one time 4th in the all-time home run list. Then Frank Robinson passed him, and it looks as if it's just a matter of time before Mark McGwire passes him. Reggie Jackson came up 10 home runs short. Mike Schmidt got close but couldn't pass Harmon. Barry Bonds will probably pass him too before it's all over with. Dave Winfield, of course, going into the Hall of Fame with over 400 home runs, and coming up on Sunday he'll be honored as Mountain Dew presents Dave Winfield Bobblehead Day. The first 10,000 fans will receive a bobblehead likeness of Dave Winfield, and you can get your tickets by calling 1-800-33-TWINS. And to boot, you get a matchup between the 2 best teams in baseball this year, the Twins and the Mariners. A.J. Pierzynski will lead off the 9th for the Twins. Pierzynski slaps a roller to left, and again the Twins get their leadoff hitter aboard. 9 innings, and 6 times the Twins have had their leadoff man on base.
Mike Timlin on the mound just wanted to work, get strike 1, hopefully away, and what does Pierzynski do? Just reaches out, finds that hole between 3rd and short, and AJ picks up his first hit of the ball game.
Pierzynski, now Rivas, Jones in the on deck circle, and the Twins hope Matt Lawton would have a chance. Remember, he's hitting in the 9th spot. Rivas numps it up the line. Timlin with a 2-run lead will make sure of 1 out, and Pierzynski advances to 2nd. So 1 out, Pierzynski at 2nd.
Rivas just getting on top of that ball a little bit. Timlin right there to make the flip over to Paquette for the 1st out.
Jacques Jones coming to the plate. 3 ground balls so far tonight for Jacques. I wonder how they managed to keep grass growing in the infield here with all the trips to the mound between Matheny and his pitchers and La Russa and Duncan and his pitchers. Jason Christensen got the save in last night's ball game. Warming up. He may get a chance here with Matt Lawton on deck. In fact, the whole thing, as we expected, was a stalling tactic. And Tony La Russa greeted with some of the boos that were left over from last night's game. And so La Russa excuses Timlin, and he'll bring in Christensen to try to get a pair of left-handed hitters, Jock Jones and then Matt Lawton. Late in the game, and I don't know that Tom Kelly's the least bit disappointed that he's going to pinch hit Torrey Hunter to face Jason Christensen.
Well, here in St. Louis, they really don't have a closer right now. It's kind of closer by committee. So Tony La Russa going through a lot of them. Christensen picking up his second save in last night's ball game. He's worked 16 innings. He's walked 9 with 17 strikeouts.
The other option was to leave Timlin in there to face Jock Jones. And by making the move, he's allowed Tom Kelly to bring Torrey Hunter, team leader in home runs, off the bench.
Christensen faced Corey Koski last night to end the ball game. He threw one pitch. Corey Koski popped up the shortstop.
So Torrey Hunter hitting for Jones. Torrey's 15 home runs along with Corey Koski's 15 share the team lead. And the Twins, desperate for a clutch hit throughout this series, will have a chance to get one from their top home run hitter Torrey Hunter against a left-hander Jason Christensen. Matt Lawton, the on-deck hitter. Strike one. Torrey getting a rare start off. Chances are he'll be in the lineup throughout the homestand.
And he's facing Jason Christensen, fastball, slider type pitcher.
Up and in, 1-1. Gene Steckschulte warming up in the bullpen. As we know now why Tony La Russa was milking every out he could out of Darryl Kyle. And here comes Matheny to kill some more grass. Darryl Kyle pitched through an hour and 17-minute rain delay and ended up pitching 6 1/3 innings. Since then, La Russa's gone to his bullpen 4 times. 1-1 to Torrey Hunter. In the dirt, dug out by Matheny. 2-1. Each team with 9 hits, but the Cardinals have scored all 4 of their runs tonight with 2 out hits. To left field. Langford is there for the catch, and out number 2. It'll all come down to Matt Lawton's at bat against Christensen.
Christensen in his first season with the St. Louis Cardinals came over from the Pirates before the trading deadline last year.
So Lawton, who entered the game last inning as a pinch hitter in the pitcher spot, drew a walk and later scored a run. If he prolongs matters, Quentin McCracken will hit. Down and away, ball 1. One 1-0 to Matt Lawton. And a strike, 1-1. Lawton, as we've told you, struggled on this road trip, but very often things start going his way when he starts drawing walks, and he drew his walk last inning. Maybe that'll set him up for a base hit here in the ninth.
Hanging breaking ball right here. It helped too.
2-1. Cardinal fans who are left here at Busch Stadium want to go home. Matt Lawton would rather play for a while. Right off the end of the bat. Now the Twins are down to their last strike. Two and two to Matt Lawton. Ground ball to second. Vina has it, and the Cardinals have a sweep over the Twins. Christensen with saves in back-to-back nights. And the Twins lead in the American League Central trimmed to 4 tonight. And the road trip ends with a 2-4 mark. And the fact the Cardinals won tonight's game largely due to Jim Edmonds, our All-American Recreation Player of the game.
Well, not only the 2 for 3, a couple singles and an RBI, but the great defensive catch that Jimmy Edmonds made. And that coming off the bat of A.J. Pierzynski to lead off, in the 7th inning when Chad Allen had just led off the inning with a base hit. He is our All-American Recreation Player of the game.
Twins will go home, score some runs, and do well, we hope, against the A's. We'll come back to Busch Stadium in a moment. Twins took 2 out of 3 at Miller Park in Milwaukee. They've come here to St. Louis and run into the typical tough luck that they've had here going back to the '87 World Series. Twins had some opportunities again here tonight. They just couldn't get that big hit when they needed it.
No, really couldn't. This whole series, the Twins got some hits, but with 2 outs, they just couldn't get that big hit. Also, the starting pitching just wasn't consistent. Adam Johnson pitched a pretty good game. Joe Mays on Sunday just didn't have it. And really, Kyle Loesch this evening, he just didn't have it.
So the Cardinals ended up with a sweep over the Minnesota Twins. It's a 2-4 road trip, and the Twins have their lead in the American League Central cut by a game, with the Cleveland Indians beating the Houston Astros down at Enron Field. But still, 69 games left, and the Twins are up by 4. We'll take that.
Oh, it sure is. And then you look at this ball club. You know, you get Brad Radke on the mound tomorrow. Ought to be a great game with Tim Hudson starting for the Oakland A's. Eric Milton, and then you know Joe Mays is going to pitch a lot better than he did last time. So let's get back to winning back at the Metrodome.
Yeah, the White Sox starting to make some noise. They're finally above the 500 mark, but the Oakland A's are making their move, trying to get into wild card contention. Big series for the Oakland A's, and of course the Mariners follow. So the next week and a half will be played against the American League West, and the 2 teams in that division playing really good baseball now.
Well, nothing is exactly what Tom Kelly and the players want. This is the pennant race right here. Even though, you know, it's the middle of July, there's Cleveland Indians. They're struggling. You know that their pitching staff isn't holding up. The Twins pitching staff has. Now the offense needs to pick it back up, score some runs, take some pressure off the starting staff.
And remember, tonight there, we think, is good news, because the Twins have called a press conference for tomorrow at 2 o'clock, and no word yet as to what it's all about. Wink, wink. We think we know, but we hope it's the signing of #1 draft choice Joe Mauer. So when we hit the air tomorrow, we'll have a very good news, we hope, regarding the #1 draft choice from St. Paul. We'll be back to Busch Stadium, tell you more about the game coming up tomorrow night between the Twins and the A's in just a moment.
This is a commercial about great savings on bedroom suites. First, you see...
Blow up this place. Build them a new stadium.
Twins typically don't score many runs here in St. Louis, and that was the case again here in this series. But we turn the page, we fly home, and we open up a homestand tomorrow with the Oakland A's. And the Twins, again, it's not so often, very often not who you play, but when you play them and where your pitching staff is in relation to the team you're playing. And the Twins, you know, going through the back half of their rotation here. Now tomorrow, Brad Radke will start a new turn when the rotation.
And Brad Radke's been pitching the ball very well. So
game time a little after 7 o'clock, the first of a 6-game homestand coming up tomorrow night. The last word again coming up next on Fox Sports Net. National Sports Report will follow in about an hour. The Twins lose to the Cardinals 4-2. It's a 2-4 road trip. The Twins are in first by 4 games as we start play tomorrow. For Director Dave Higgins, producer Jim Drake, Anthony LaPanta, Bert Blyleven, and Dick Bramer saying goodbye from St. Louis.